first drive in the M3. Just left the gym. It's perfect weather for this. It's 51 degrees in sunny Florida. It'll probably be 70 by the end of the day. But I figured it's about time for me to get the GoPros out and go for a drive. Just got some gas. I'm averaging 14.8 miles per gallon on this sucker. E92 M3s are not known for their fuel economy. Car's warm. Actually, car's not warm. So we'll take it easy here for a minute. So, you know, the most common thing or most common comment for people with me, because I've changed so many cars here as I've chased this pursuit of who knows what over the last couple of years, that, you know, oh, you know, you'll build this and you'll be done with it, you know, and this car will go by the wayside. So the question is, you know, how long are you going to have this thing? Or the comment is, I want to buy it when you're done with it. And I don't know, this one feels right to me. And you know, I don't want to speak out of turn here and have to eat these words, but I think this is the car that I wanted. This was the car that I was looking for. And you know, with the F80, the GT350, and the S2000, and all these cars that I've had that complement, even the truck was great, but and all of the cars I liked, but it just wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't what I wanted. The GT350 is probably as close to as I could have gotten there. The problem with that car is it's just not, it's not, even though this is an older car, it's not, I don't want to say comfortable, because I wouldn't call this car comfortable, but it's just not as nice. You know, the fit and finish, although it didn't bother me, didn't excite me. You know, when I get in this car, the interior of this thing is fantastic, even being older. And I don't really like a lot of tech anyway in the car. I like it to be simple, and so this just works. We're at 190 degrees, got a little bit more temp to go. So I think that this car is going to stay for a while anyway, and we'll see how it goes. But there just isn't anything new that excites me, and that sounds good and is a manual and, you know, checks all the boxes. And this is a car that, again, I don't think I'm a forever car kind of guy. I like to get new stuff. I like to chase. So I don't think that I'll ever be one to just bag it and, you know, or keep it and bag the idea of getting new ones all the time. You know, I like the build. I like building the thing. So this thing is, at least for now, is what I wanted it to be. So one of the big comments, this drives me crazy, you know, rod bearings, valve actuators, you know, did you get it fixed? Did you get it changed? I mean, the car has 32,000 miles on it. I guess it's possible that the guy before me drove it horribly and just beat on it from the second he got in it. The way it was maintained, the way the interior was, I suspect that probably isn't the case. I mean, it has an M5 shift knob on it, did a Dynan exhaust. I think the guy who had it was in the know, so I don't think that he would have abused the thing. So I think we're safe there. The car was in an accident. So the front was repainted, and that's why it has the Euro front bumper, but everything drives straight. The steering wheel's a little off, so I've got to get the alignment fixed, but I'm going to be doing the Dynan suspension here shortly anyway, so I don't have to worry about that. I'll get that done. But everything else is pretty well sorted. I mean, I changed the oil, changed the transmission fluid, changed the diff. I'll probably flush the coolant. And you know, I changed the cabin air filter here this week. I got to do that, and I've got the car pretty well set up. I mean, it drives straight, it feels great, the suspension feels good, everything is as I would have hoped it would have been. And surprisingly, I'm really enjoying the fact that it's a 32,000 mile car. I feel less worried about it. And that's what it's all about. The other thing that was a little shocking when I got in it is how darn slow this thing is in comparison to like an F80, especially, you know, my modified F80 or the GT350 or the GT3 or pretty much any car. But I'm learning to, or I'm appreciating the fact that it's not super fast. It's just fast enough. So I'll probably end up supercharging it as it gets a little longer in the tooth for me, which seems to be rather quickly for me. So maybe 6 months from now I'll be supercharging the thing, but I don't think it needs it. You know, doing the ESS tune, going with the Dynamital Racing, and then the Iceman's gonna disappear here probably this week. It's just not. It's a gentleman's exhaust. But I'm a little bit of a hooligan at heart, so I'm gonna put the Dynan on. I had that on my 2011. I'll probably end up doing something else. Like, I just don't want to go to like the Meisterschaft or the Remus race or Iceman race because it's just gonna be too droney, too loud. Even this has a little tiny baby drone with the big catless, but when I added the tune, went catless, it really woke the car up. I probably gained 40 horsepower, something like that. So it does feel a lot more responsive. And again, not a super fast car, but I think it's fast enough. I mean, we'll open it up here in a second. I'm actually going to go look at this. I'll cue you in more on this. I'm a little afraid to share too much because I don't want people to think I'm just doing so darn well that I could afford to buy this place. But there's this 70 acres up here on this road that you've seen me drive down 50 times. And it's 70 acres and a place that I could turn into HQ as a destination. The brakes certainly are about to get upgraded. But that to me is plenty fast. I mean, I'm going 100 or 90 next to that 35 mile an hour speed limit sign. But man, I love everything about this car. The steering, the way it sounds, the way it delivers power. So here's this house right here. There's an access road. There's a 6,000 square foot building on the side. The house is 11,000 square feet. Look, it's for sale. I mean, look at this. I'll pull in here. But I call the realtor. I'm supposed to talk to her at 11. Look at that. I would do this more of as like think Obsessed Garage, not bed and breakfast, but think car guy Nexus. It'd be kind of ironic that I've been driving past this place for years. So you can tell we definitely need more sound, although it sounds great. So as I was saying, I love the steering, the way that the steering wheel feels, the BMW the M-Car fat steering wheel. The audio is decent, the seating position's great, the seats are great. The engine bay is like my favorite looking engine bay of all time. It's just, it's what I wanted, and it's just the right size. It's not too small. That just makes me happy. I don't even need to go to a red line. Just rev it out to 6,000-7,000 RPMs. It's just amazing. Add a little bit more sound. I'll have a little bit more induction noise when I do the intake, and I don't need more power. I'm not racing anybody anyway, so it's just not necessary for me. But the hydraulic steering, man, and this isn't even set up yet. Wait till I'm doing HRE R101 lightweights, and then and right here there's another 100 acres. Yeah, right here, 98 acres for sale that butts up or caddy corners to that 76 acre property. I mean, I can't really afford it, but who knows? Maybe a year from now, like keep building out Obsessed Garage, have me own the property, and Obsessed Garage pays me rent, man, and I could basically live there tax-free in a mansion, and then just host people to come and hang out for weeks. Come and stay for a week, and I teach you my process for paint correcting. That would be insane, wouldn't it? And who's gonna frickin' stop me? I already have a master plan, and ironically, the master plan that I put together, we haven't finished it yet, but the master plan calls for 100 acres. So, go figure. It was actually 230 something acres, But the main structure of the facility I was planning to build over time was 100 acres. So who knows? Maybe I can work something out. I'm going to go and talk to them this week. I just don't want to turn people off. I mean, the goal for me with this isn't to get rich and to have some big mansion. The goal is to be able to do what it is I want to do and then provide the world a solution that doesn't exist. So the ESS tune gets me red line at 8,600 RPMs, so you get 200 additional RPMs. I find myself shifting at like 8. So it's kind of hard to, especially first to second gear transition is really notchy, kind of clunky on this car. So it's a more difficult transition to make. And I don't really want to bounce it off the rev limiter on this car, and I just haven't found the need to. But the power delivery is there's much more grunt down low. It's much more linear with the ESS tune and being catless. I really don't like being catless. I don't like what that says or what that means. Especially environmentally, but it does wake the car up a ton. And then when you have a tune on the car, it does lean it out a little bit. You adjust air fuel, so it is considerably more efficient. So, oh yeah, there's a darn lake on that 100 acres. That would be amazing. And I'm thinking about putting the cats back on the GT3, so that'll at least help offset the earth killing that I'm doing at this point. There's also a lot of property here for sale. Again, I could build a massive destination right out here where I've been ironically driving for so long. I've been working on my heel toe, but still not good. I mean, it's plenty fast. There's 80, 90, 100, plenty fast. Now the brakes actually aren't bad in these cars. I know they fade early, but not for me on the street. They're not going to fade. So I'm riding with MDM mode and the suspension on the middle EDC 1. So there's EDC 0, EDC 1, and EDC 2, or whatever they call it in the menu system. So yeah, a little more sound, suspension and wheels. Like, I don't feel super confident in this car. I feel like there's too much body roll. Feels a little floaty stock compared to what I'm used to. But it certainly handles well, and with a skilled and capable driver, you would be able to do really well with this thing as it is. But the whole point of this to me is that it's the whole package. It's the right size, it sounds correct. I have induction noise and exhaust noise, and that's one of the GT350, don't get me wrong, sounds amazing, but there's no induction noise on the GT350. It's all exhaust. But yeah, we're gonna get the sound dialed in. I usually don't drive with the power button on, which is, again, doesn't make more power. It just adjusts throttle response. I think there's a throttle body adjustment. I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments. But I've got the HREs coming. I'm not sure the offsets, so I should hopefully do it right. HRE is usually pretty. What we did is said HRE. I want this, the moderate E92 offset setup. I'm going to do 265s in the front, 285s in the rear, Michelin Pilot Sport 4s. I'm doing the Dynan EDC capable sleeve coilover system, Dynan sway bar, front sway bar, the Dynan strut tower brake. That won't do anything other than look cool. I'm doing the monoball mounts in the front, the tow arms in the rear. Would tow arms help with that rear deflection or that flex in the tow arms as you're launching? I found that to make a really significant difference in my 2011, especially when I did the heftier tires in the rear. The other mistake I made on this car in the past is I did 20s with 25 series pro or 25 profile tires That was a huge mistake. So the Dyna suspension I think is going to be great. I want it to be really streetable. Worst case, if it's not good enough for me and I don't like having the stock dampers, I'll swap that for the Moton setup, or actually the AST, which is made by Moton. But I'm going to be doing all the stuff myself. I'm going to get I got to get a press. Maybe someone can make a suggestion to me. How do I press out the bushings to monoballs changed out? I got to get a tool for that. I don't want to get a big press because I don't want to keep it somewhere, but if I can get some tools to do that on a bench, that would be helpful. I've got the front lip ordered. That should be here in a couple of weeks. The rear diffuser, so I'll do that when I do the exhaust. And then the interior stuff I'll start working on a little later, like the short shift kit. I forget the guy that you guys suggested doing short shift kit and some Alcantara in here. I already changed out the center console here to get rid of the crunchiness. Actually, the 335 or the 330, the E92 330 centered console works great. But I'm really pleased with it, and I think that it's going to stay for a little while. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting me. I'll keep you posted on OGHQ as a destination. Who knows? I'm going to go look at it, and then maybe a year from now, or maybe it'll still be on the market, I could buy that 170 acres and then start to host like amazing things. There's a 6-car garage there. I could build a dedicated wash bay. I could have a parking lot, build a bunch of buildings so people can come and see how we're distributing stuff. The key is I would need to get permission to bring 18-wheelers worth of cool stuff in and out of there all the time. So anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more crazy. What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, foot to the floor.
Dialed in.